But clouds also act as a planetary thermostat, averaging day and nighttime temperatures to make this planet habitable. NASA scientists say that even a small change in this delicate cloud balance can, quote, eliminate global warming or greatly enhance it. Ken Caldera, a physicist with Teller's Climate Modeling Group at the Lawrence Livermore Labs, warned a conference of geophysicists that spraying chemicals to form a solar sunscreen could destroy the ozone layer and trigger other devastating consequences. Whatever chemtrails are meant to accomplish, the weather is getting worse. 1999 was the hottest ever recorded in the United States. Winds that hit Europe on the eve of the millennium knocked down 400 million trees, shut down 2 nuclear power plants, killed hundreds of people, and stranded millions more without lights or power from the Netherlands to Naples. For the first time, waterspouts were seen off Vancouver, Canada, and explosive jet stream winds touched down across the United States. Falling temperatures, strong winds, and rain often follow chemtrails, along with acute ailments among people and animals on the ground. Since heavy chemtrail spraying began almost 2 years ago, just about everyone, it seems, is sick or has been ill or knows someone who is sicker than they have ever been before. During the 1999-2000 flu season, the Centers for Disease Control tracked a 31-week epidemic of fatalities from pneumonia and influenza-like illness. But when actual lab tests were carried out on patients jamming doctors' offices and emergency rooms across the U.S., 70% or more did not have the flu. The CDC says an unknown pathogen could be responsible for high death rates, particularly among the elderly, as well as drastic ailments whose origins doctors cannot diagnose. Thousands of eyewitnesses report sudden symptoms of joint pain, nosebleeds, severe headaches, twitching eyelids, upper respiratory distress, earaches, asthma attacks, gastrointestinal bloating and pain, inability to concentrate, extreme dizziness, fatigue, and memory loss, contracted immediately after heavy chemtrail spraying. Can this be coincidence? Government-sponsored 1-800-FLU reporting numbers suggest that the spread of these illnesses is being tracked, just as similar outbreaks have been monitored during 50 years of covert open-air biowarfare experiments on U.S., UK, and Canadian cities. Though few people are aware of this fact, it has been legal to conduct chemical biological warfare tests on the American public for decades. Amended in 1997, Title 50 stipulates that Congress must be notified and informed consent obtained from each test subject in advance of these experiments. Chemtrails are not confined to North America. Eyewitnesses in at least 14 countries are reporting spray activity. During 3 weeks in the winter of 1998-99, the BBC reported refrigerator trucks being used as makeshift morgues to help handle 8,100 corpses, mostly elderly, who died suddenly from influenza-like illness. But the media failed to report the giant white X's over Birmingham and London, as more than 91,000 sick Britishers swamped hospitals and ambulance services. This year, the freezer trucks were back in use, in a grim repetition, said the London Telegraph, of scenes outside hospitals last winter. Once you accept that chemtrails are not contrails, the realization sinks in that the Earth and its inhabitants are being subjected to unprecedented experimentation without our knowledge or permission. In the face of official denials that anything suspicious is going on, the internet and radio airwaves are rife with anxious speculation. Some say the chemtrails are intended to kill us all. Other observers insist that the disorientation and lethargy resulting from chemtrail exposure is intended to make citizens compliant to the New World Order and enslave us all. Based on the evidence presented in this video, the producers believe that the most plausible explanation for this massive aerial spraying is a planet-wide, high-tech campaign against catastrophic climate change. If this is true, such a desperate Band-Aid solution disregards the fundamental causes of global warming in order to protect powerful financial interests by permitting pollution and profits as usual. It has been the experience of all who have reported chemtrail activity that federal, state, and provincial governments refuse to acknowledge chemtrails. Though denials come from every level, authorities responsible for public health, safety, and the environment say they will act when forced by the public to do so. If public pressure is the key, then the most effective action is to alert people to what is taking place right over their heads. Take this tape or your own footage and chemtrail photos to your local television stations. Remember, cable producers are required to broadcast local content as public service announcements. Don't be afraid to speak out. You'll be surprised how many people are noticing the unusual proliferation of jet trails but don't know what they're seeing. When enough people learn that these puzzling plumes are really chemtrails, and that we are being sprayed with unknown substances without our informed consent, the message will spread, and our leaders will be compelled to respond to the concerns of citizens who have seen for themselves the mystery lines in the sky.
Chow.
Love those dog stories.
It sounds like a government plot hatched right from the X-Files.
But some say this is fact, not fiction.
I know something is not normal, and we just want to know what it is.
98% of us die eventually.
Die, they say, from a secret program of spraying.
There's absolutely no basis to suspect that the chemtrails you see today are any different than they were ever before.
Eventual elimination.
I feel that what they're doing is experimenting in the disbursement of bioagents and poisonous toxins.
There are a lot of people with spare time, and sometimes they let their imagination get away with them.
God help us.
You may be wondering why one of the researchers we had there wanted us to conceal his identity. He says an intermediary told him a paid assassin for the government issued a warning that anyone who went public about chemtrail was in danger of disappearing.